Australia's going down the gurgler, mate. And no one's got the guts to say it. Our leaders are asleep at the bloody wheel, waving the flag for global elites, while hard-working Aussies get shafted. And now, the Nationals, the one party that's supposed to stand up for the bush, the battlers, the backbone of this country. They're tearing each other apart in Canberra, and you should care, because what's happening behind closed doors could change everything. Before we unpack this Canavan versus Littleproud political cage match, where net zero is torched, Albo's soft on China label explodes, and the coalition's holding on by dental floss. Smash that like button, like Canavan's smashing renewables policy. Subscribe if you're sick of spineless leadership, and grab the Albo-lutely clueless tea. Links in the description. Matt Canavan? Yeah, the bloke who doesn't mince words, just threw a hand grenade into the Nationals' cosy little clubhouse. He's had a gutful of David Littleproud's weak-as-water leadership and reckons it's time for a real blue. We've got to fight for it, he said. And fight he will. Because Canavan's not just going after the leadership, he's coming after net zero, the Liberals, and the whole spineless political machine that's been selling us out for years. This ain't just about who wears the bloody tie at Nationals HQ. It's a full-blown rebellion. Canavan says he didn't even want the job, but no one else had the ticker to stand up. Think about that. In a party that claims to represent rural grit and guts, not one other person was game to challenge the status quo. So he threw his hat in the ring, not because it's easy, but because someone had to. And now he's shaking the whole party tree. And what's his plan, you ask? First thing on the chopping block? Net bloody zero. That's right. He wants to dump the whole save the planet fantasy that's costing Aussies their jobs, their livelihoods, and their way of life. And he's not wrong. Even the government's own numbers reckon net zero will cost us $9 trillion. 9 trillion? Where's that coming from? Your taxes, your power bills, your job. While Albo's busy taking selfies with Beijing and pretending everything's sweet, rural Australia's getting buried under a mountain of green tape, solar pipe dreams, and bureaucratic BS. But Canavan's not stopping there. He reckons the Nationals should stop playing lapdog to the Liberals. It's a business deal, he says, not a marriage. And if the Nats keep copping dude deals while the Libs chase inner city votes and Green voters who'll never vote for them anyway, what's the point of staying together? He's ready to walk, if that's what it takes to protect the people he was elected to represent. Now let's talk about why this matters. Because most Aussies aren't watching Question Time or reading Hansard. They're watching their power bills go up, their jobs go overseas, and their local culture fade into some bland, bureaucratic globalist soup. The bush is hurting. Tradies are hurting. Families are copping it from all sides. And what's Canberra doing? Patting themselves on the back for passing climate laws and pretending China's not laughing at us from across the water. Remember the voice referendum? Everyone said the Nationals were nuts for opposing it early. The media laughed, politicians sneered, and then, bam, 6 months later, the entire country flips. 60-40 against. Why? Because someone had the guts to say, nah, this ain't right, and stick to it. That's the Canavan strategy. Speak up early, hold your ground, and let common sense catch up. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't a fair fight. The media's already sharpening their knives. They'll call him extreme. They'll say he's trying to drag the party back to the dark ages. But you know what? Maybe it's time someone did. Maybe it's time someone actually said what half the country's thinking and stopped playing by the ABC's rulebook. And let's not forget, the Nationals didn't win the last election. Sure, they held their seats, but the coalition got flogged. And Canavan reckons that's because they didn't fight. They told Aussies the country was stuffed, but then offered no real solutions. No bold changes, no fire in the belly. Just more of the same. And voters could smell it. The coalition got punished not because they were too extreme, but because they were too gutless. So here comes Canavan, boots and all, saying enough is enough. He's not here to play nice. He's here to scrap net zero, slash energy bills, and bring back a bit of mongrel. He wants to make the Nationals dangerous again. And whether you love him or hate him, you can't say the bloke lacks spine. Meanwhile, David Littleproud's camp is scrambling. They say he's done a good job, and sure, he's pushed some decent policies. But is decent good enough when families can't afford groceries and the grid's one heat wave away from collapsing? Is decent going to keep the lights on in regional towns that haven't seen a decent infrastructure upgrade in years? Or do we need something bigger? Something that actually challenges the bureaucratic status quo instead of managing its slow decay? And just quietly, if Canavan wins, don't be shocked if the Liberal National Coalition starts to crack. Because this ain't just a leadership change. It's an identity crisis. Do the Nats keep playing second fiddle to a party chasing city votes? Or do they stand up, break away, and become a real force for rural and regional Aussies? If Canavan gets up, you better believe that question's getting asked. Here's the kicker. Canavan doesn't even care who wins the Liberal leadership. When asked about it, he shrugged it off. Don't care. It's up to them. That's how over it he is. That's how sick he is of the political games. And maybe, just maybe, that's the attitude we need right now. Someone who isn't trying to climb a ladder, but trying to burn down the broken bits and rebuild something worth voting for. So yeah, maybe he's controversial. Maybe he's unpredictable. But he's real. And in a world of fake smiles, media coaching, and poll-driven platitudes, maybe real is what we bloody need. If you're sick of leaders who bow to Beijing, hug trees while ignoring timber towns, and talk tough while delivering sweet F-all, smash that like button harder than your last power bill hit your bank account. Share this video if you reckon the country needs a wake-up call. And don't forget to check out the merch. Grab your elbow-lootly clueless tee and wear it with pride. Because whether or not Canavan wins today, one thing's for sure, the fight for Australia's future just got a whole lot more interesting.